According to the park rangers in Great Basin National Park, if you were just to do one hike, this would be the hike to do. There are high peaks, there are glaciers, there are alpine lakes, there are ancient bristlecone pine trees. It's really a beautiful hike, and it's not that hard to do either. In this video, I'll show you everything you need to know to do the hike safely. The hike starts at the Wheeler Peak Campground at the end of the Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive, and we're going to be just over 6 miles, 6.2 miles. We're going to combo 2 hikes, the Alpine Lakes Loop. We're going to go by Stella Lake, Teresa Lake, and then we're going to go around the bend here, visit the ancient Bristlecone Pine Grove, and then up into the Wheeler Peak Glacier, which is Nevada's only glacier. Now, the parking area for hiking is just above the campground, and there are toilets here, but no water. So bring your water up from the visitor center or wherever you are. And the trailhead is just across the street from the parking area. There's a trail board here. This is the one you should be looking for, Bristlecone and Alpine Lakes Trailhead. And once you get on the trail, it's well marked. The beginning is part of a little interpretive loop, and you're going to do this little stream crossing. It's just really pleasant. It feels like you are in another world. Right after the stream crossing, we're going to get off the interpretive loop and make the right, heading up towards Alpine Lakes. And there are trail signs all along the way as well, so that's definitely helpful. We have a couple little minutes of uphill, and then there's another sign, and then we're going to make the right-hand turn. And when we come back, we're going to come back on the left-hand side. But for right now, we're just going to make this right-hand turn. Now, this is an uphill hike, but it's really gradual and gentle, not too steep. You can see we're following this little stream coming out of Stella Lake here. Now, this area in the wintertime, basically outside of the May to October window, is usually covered with snow and closed off. But May to October, this is fair game and very beautiful. And at just under a mile, you're going to see a trail joining from the right. This is the summit trail. I have a guide to do this hike up to the summit if you want. It's going to join on to our loop trail just for 0.1 mile. But you can see here, it's pointing us up to Stella Lake, which is our next stop. From here, we're just going to go forward. And then just a few minutes after that, you'll see the summit trail goes back off to the right. If you want to go up to Wheeler Peak, that's the way to do it. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to continue straight up to Stella Lake. When you get to this meadow part, if you look over to your left, you're going to get some incredible views of Wheeler Peak, which over 13,000 feet is the highest point in the park and also the second highest point in the state of Nevada. Then at 1.1 miles, we reach Stella Lake, which is actually not a lake, it's a tarn, but beautiful subalpine body of water here under Wheeler Peak, named after Stella Gandy, who was evidently the first European American to set eyes on it. And once you're done exploring Stella Lake, we're going to continue around the left side of the lake. The trail continues on the left side of the lake, and it's easy to spot here as we go around. And you're going to start heading downhill towards Teresa Lake. Again, great views up above of Wheeler Peak. You might notice these red tags. These are the trail markers. Why are they so high up? Well, when there's snow here and the snow level is higher, these hopefully are above the snow level. At about 1.9 miles, we reach Teresa Lake, which, similar to Stella Lake, is also a subalpine tarn, but this is different in that it's also fed by a spring, which you can see flowing into it here, not just snow melt in Teresa Lake. But enjoy it. It's a little more mellow than Stella Lake because not so many people come here. But anyway, enjoy it, and then we're going to continue around the left-hand side of the lake. Trail is easy to follow, continues downhill, and again, we have our markers from before, so you know where you are, but it's really pretty easy. And after a couple minutes, you're going to come to the junction with the Bristlecone Trail. Now, if you just want to end the hike, you can make the left and go back, but we're going to go up to the Bristlecone Grove and up to the Rock Glacier. You can see there's a sign here, and we're going to make the right and head up on this one-way path. And when we come back, we're just going to be coming back the same way we were going up right here. Now, there's a little bit of uphill on this, but it is really beautiful. You're going to get views across to the meadows on the other side over there where we started. Eventually, you're going to start to see the moraine area. That's basically the glacial spillage that's come down from the cirque by Wheeler Peak. The trees are going to start getting older. There's going to be limber pines, and then, of course, the bristlecone pine. And at 2.8 miles, we get to the Bristlecone Pine Grove, an interpretive trail. If you go right here, you can just skip the interpretive trail, but we're going to go left and check out all of the interpretive displays that are available about the bristlecone pines. These trees are thousands of years old. They grow very slowly. They're very rare. You can find them in California, Nevada, and Utah, but not obviously everywhere. And it's crazy to think that these trees were growing before 2000 BC, in the Bronze Age there, way before Roman civilization, Greek civilization. The oldest tree in the park here was cut down in the 1960s, and the oldest one of these still alive is in California, the Methuselah tree. I think it's 4,800 and change years old, something like that. And as you can tell, it's been pretty remote. It's a backcountry hike, even though a lot of people just do it casually. I bring a liter of water with me and all my backcountry essentials, including a satellite communicator, trail runners, all the things I would normally take on a backcountry hike. Now, at the end of the Bristlecone Interpretive Trail, we're going to continue up towards the glacier. And if you skip the interpretive trail, you'll come out here as well. Trail is really easy to follow, as always. This is pretty popular, but not as many people come up all this way. But my favorite part is here where you come into the cirque. Wheeler Peak is up on the right-hand side there. That pointy one is peak 12,631, I believe. But then we get up to the glacier interpretive display, and it tells you a little bit about Nevada's only glacier. It's one of the southernmost here in the United States, and it's actually two glaciers. There's the snow that you see, and then part of it that's rock there is a rock glacier, so a glacier that's covered in a layer of rock, which keeps it cool. And as you'd imagine, the glacier has receded over the years. The Park Service has this little thing on the website where you can see what it looked like in 1958 versus 2012. One of the neat things is you can continue past the interpretive display and actually go into the glacier. Now, obviously, in the wintertime, this is not really doable unless you have the proper equipment, but this is July, and you can go ahead, and there's some snowy sections you have to traverse, but otherwise you can make your way up in here. It's very rocky. It gets steeper, but it is beautiful. There are some of these markers here, probably from the winter. And overall, just really neat that you can get to go into and onto a glacier. Heading up the glacier, the weather just turned. You can see it's pretty breezy out here. Just heard thunder, so I'm going to get out of here because you don't want to be here if it starts to thunder and lightning. So if you go a quarter mile maybe up, you can continue on into the glacier. A lot of the same kind of thing. See more of the glacier. If the conditions are good, do it, but don't risk your life for this hike. So let me get out of here. So getting back is pretty straightforward. We're going to go the same way we came down. So we're going to keep going down past the Bristlecone. Then we get to this junction where we came down from Teresa Lake. Remember, we came down here and made the right. We're going to go straight. We're not going to go back up along the lakes. We're going to finish the loop up, go straight on this section, which is pretty much all downhill and nice and cruisy. Eventually, we will see the signs where we did our first turn way back when at the beginning of the hike. And that's the end of the hike. If you have any questions about the hike, just leave me a comment under the video. I will do my best to answer it. And if you do the hike yourself and want to leave a tip or some feedback for other hikers, leave a comment too. That will help other people out. You can also bring these directions with you. I have them on my website, HikingGuy.com. Just search for Hiking Guy, Great Basin, and you can print it out, save it to your phone, whatever, so that you have it out on the trail. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I have a lot more hikes on my website and on my channel, so check them out if you're not familiar with the channel. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you out in the trails.